looking at my hood again, you know what that means. So we're headed out to a TL1055C Caterpillar again today. So the customer complaint is we got oil coming out of the turbo. And that's all I know. So that doesn't sound good. Kinda sounds like we may have a turbo problem. So we will find out. I'll race you there. Okay, so judging by the oil all over the ground here, seems like we have the right machine. Oh yeah, we got oil everywhere down here. Oil filter's leaking. So, turbo's there, yeah, there's oil. There's oil all over the place here. Okay, well, then let's not belabor the point. I'm going to pull this line off of here. This is the outlet to the turbo, so if that turbo is sucking a bunch of, or blowing a bunch of oil through, we should be able to see it through here. Definitely, by the looks of the oil under here, I would say that it's definitely leaking through there, so we'll find out. That's really dangerous when your oil starts pushing through the turbo like that, through the turbo seals and out. Oh yeah, look at all the oil in there. Oof. Okay, anyway, it's dangerous when that starts to happen because a diesel engine, whether it's electronically controlled or not, runs beautifully on engine oil. It will run really well if you can just dump it in the intake. So the valves, the cam timing, and the compression ignition side of things are all mechanical. So if you give it fuel, it'll just run. The electronic side only adjusts the fuel. So you can, well, anyway, what happens is it'll push that oil through into the intercooler, and the intercooler goes down to the bottom, and once there's enough oil in there and you put the engine under load that you have lots of boost pressure coming through, it'll push oil up through that tube and right into your intake, and the engine will start to run on the engine oil that's coming through that intake tube. And then, of course, the more fuel it gets, the faster the engine runs. The faster it runs, the more boost it makes. The more boost it makes, the more oil pressure it pushes through. And eventually it just compounds the problem until you have no control over your throttle anymore. So when a turbo starts pushing oil through like that, you can blow an engine up real easy. So, like I say, I'm going to pull this one off, get this line off of here, and let's see when we fire it up if we're blowing a bunch of oil through there. I'm assuming that's exactly what we're going to see. I don't see that their PCV, sometimes the PCV valve, your crankcase pressure sometimes is routed into your inlet to the turbo, and it'll push oil. If you have like a bad piston or something, it'll blow oil through the inlet of the turbo. But this one is routed down like this through here and goes down, ends right there. So this turbo leak is definitely a turbo issue. All right, let's get at her. Yeah, so that tube is right full of oil. There we can see oil sitting at the bottom there, so I'm pretty sure I already know what we're gonna find, but you don't know until you know. Okay, I let them run for a few minutes here. And as you can tell by the oil spots on the concrete, we are definitely throwing oil out of there. It's all running down the turbo. So that pretty well proves our point. There's no PCV going on the intake side of the turbo, so that oil has to be coming out of the turbo, which means the shaft seals are wore out. We are in the negatives today for temperature, so a little bonus to warming it up and just double checking that is now that this is going to be nice and hot instead of ice cold. All right, so like I say, there is no PCV vent going into that inlet, so you know that it has to be shaft seals of the turbo. And I did order a turbo because the truth is I was already here once and diagnosed this. So now it is time to get this turbo off of here and find out what's going on. The question is, at 6,000 hours, why is the turbo gone? Well, could be a lot of idling, could be a lot of cold starts. Turbo doesn't get lubrication until you have oil pressure, so it could be to do with that. But they also mentioned that when they bought this machine, they had been told by another shop that the oil had been gone way too long and never got changed on this one. Far too long of oil change intervals. And so I don't know for sure, at least not yet, but that is almost certainly what ate that turbo. Just not getting proper lubrication because not changing the oil often enough. Everybody tries to sell you these days on the extended oil change intervals. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Oil is expensive. Filters are expensive. But you know what's really expensive? New turbos. These gaskets alone were well over $100. Main bearings are really expensive too. It's cheaper to use good oil and change it way too often than it is to run extended oil intervals and gamble with the life of your engine. Okay, I'm going to be at this for a little while, so I'm going to start off by soaking all the mounting bolts and flange bolts and stuff with some penetrating oil. Okay, is this a 10 or an 11? Ooh, that does not look like I'm going to be able to have room once I get a socket on there. Yeah, that only fits because it's a DeWalt. It's coming. Ooh, yeah, she's pretty grungy feeling. Not the best. Okay, let's get that supply line off next, I guess. Whoops. Okay, we got our banjo bolt and our sealing washers for it. All right, that's that one. Now, this drain line looks like it is going to be a bear. Kind of trying to figure out here what's going to be the easiest way to get that off. Can't really get in behind here very well. I don't know how. Oh boy, I may have to take this line right off and pull it right out of there actually. I think that would give me room to get my hands in this end of it. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Hey, it seems like it's loose on the other end. Oh, don't have enough room here to move it. There's a mount there, that's why. I had to take that whole inlet line off of here so I had room to get my hands underneath to get at these guys here on the drain line. Hopefully that's going to give me enough room. I don't know yet. Ooh, that is a tight fit. It's a little bit too long. Just going to wash some of this oil off of here so I'm not working in so much mess the whole time. Let's see if I can get this one underneath there somehow. That'll work for this one. Ooh, that's tight. You always get into these situations where your hands and arms don't bend the right way. So you got to position yourself so that your limbs or whatever digits actually fit. Oh, I dropped the bolt. Of course I dropped the bolt. You're not even doing the job right if you don't drop your hardware down in a hole and need a magnet to get it out, right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Every single one of my magnet trays is being used on a job somewhere right now. Awesome. It's nice to have work. Wow, how am I gonna get in there? That's like, wow, I literally am not sure how I'm going to get on that one. Can I move this out of the way at all? There's a clamp right there, so if I pull that off, oh, that's easier said than done. Okay, that, there we go. Now that guy's out of the way. That should help a little bit. So I can't actually see what I'm doing in there. I have to feel it. Wow, can't get in there. I have definitely replaced turbos before that were easier to get at than this one. Wow, what do I do here? I think I have to actually use a wrench. It's too cold out here for this today. I got it broke free. Gotta take my gloves off, I can't feel it. Oh, that is not working. I would like the Caterpillar engineer to come out right now and do this job. Dropped it right to the bottom. Oh, I'll never see that again. Where are you? Oh, there it is. I got it. Here it comes. Good job, Ray. I think I have to take that bolt out completely with a wrench. In an era dominated by battery-powered tools, this is like torture. Did I just hear a cat? Cats always find me because I don't like them. I got a little wobble joint now, maybe that'll help. Oh, I dropped it to the bottom again. I'm getting some of that bolt with my fingers now. Wonder if I can get in this way. Come on, little buddy, get out of there. Must be almost all the way out by now. Back to the wrench, 1/16 of a turn at a time. Can't see it. I got it out a bunch, but now it's stuck. Why can't I get a socket on it anymore? Well, come out already. Good thing I get paid by the hour. Ay. I got it out. I have no idea how I'm going to get that back in there. But that is a problem for future Ray. And present Ray does not care about future Ray. So we'll deal with it later. Next, I think I need to get this whole tube out of the way here so I can get at the mounting bolts on the manifold. I shouldn't have to take this off, but I think I'm going to do it just so I have more room to work in here because I just don't really have the space that I'd like to see here. No, I guess that can just stay plugged in then. I don't want to break the plastic pin that holds that down in there. What's next then? These clamps look like Allen heads? That's dumb. I need a coffee break. For some reason the wastegate line is clamped, has a holding clamp on the turbo. I can't get that off either. It might have to come off with the turbo, but then there's another bolt here, and I can't get that one either. Who builds this stuff? I can tell I'm not working on a Cummins here. If this was a Cummins, I'd be on my way home by now. Ugh. Got it. Oh, interesting. Here, come look at this. You can tell by the bare spot right there on that line that this has been off before, because it didn't get put back on as far as what it was when it was painted. Not that that means anything important, at least not at this point, but you always watch stuff like that because all of a sudden something happens and you go, oh, I saw this piece was like that, so this might explain some of the story. There, that's disconnected, that's off of there, so the turbo is loose from that. So now back to this big little throttle valve and whatever all stuff. Ooh, that was easy. Now, what size is that Allen thing? Oh, look at that. Pretty sure the one in behind here should be the same size, except my ratchet doesn't fit. Oh, it does, I got it. Ooh, that ain't moving. Now what? If you can't fix it with a screwdriver, try a hammer. That's not working either. Aw, well that's too bad. Snappy Dave, I need warranty. So I can't get that clamp to loosen up. I can take it off at the 3-bolt flange here, but the third nut underneath there I can't get at very easily anyway. Well, that's more like a big 15. I can't get a socket on there, or probably not even a wrench either, especially not to break it free. And being as rusted as it is, it ain't gonna come off of there easy. So I need to get this other piece off. Might have to take it apart one piece at a time here. Well, on this side, that clamp comes off pretty nice. It's already all rotating. There. That one's off. So, should then be able to pop this thing out of the road. Oh, she's pretty stiff still. Ooh, got part of it off. There, I got part of this moving now. Yeah, I got that part moving. Now, how do I do that to this other piece here? Ha, got it. Still can't break it free even though the clamp is off. This thing is rusted bad on there. I got it. Oh, we'll take this off so it's out of the road. Now, definitely have to use a wrench on that one. So, can I get at all these other bolts now? I just have the mounting pedestal bolts left, and they don't look very fun. Bigger. It went crack a little bit there. Gotta put the extendo wrench on there all the way. Let's see if we can break this off. Ooh, no, that ain't working. What's happening here? Ooh, I think I'm gonna break these studs off, and I didn't order studs. That one's turning. There we go, this one broke free. That is tight. Now, what do I do about this one? Broke that one free. Wow, this is not an easy job. I wonder if I could get my ratchet on there. No, too long to get in there. Can't get it there. What about this one? No, can't do that either. Maybe this will work. Nope, nothing but a wrench fits. Oh, ridiculous. Even a wrench, I can barely get it to bite on there. How does that ever turn hard? Woohoo, I got the first nut off. There's the second one. Now I got one more in there that I can't see, and one there that I can. Am I on there all the way? Does that feel right? No. There we go. Now I'm on it, but I need more leverage than that if I'm going to actually get that off. So I need to get this other hose out of the way. That thing over there, maybe? I think I can feel the bolt there. Ooh, that's not going to work. No. There we go. Now I might be able to get some purchase on it. Wow, I can't turn that thing. Man, this is crazy. Oh, finally, got the third one. This one here, last one, should be a lot easier. Oh, it's not coming very easy either. Oh, wow. Oh, my hand's stuck. Wow, what in the world? Can't even turn this thing. So much for being easier. That thing's tight. Oh, finally, number 4. Now, in theory, I should be able to lift this out of here. Oh, there it is. So the turbos look the same, which is good. But the new turbo did not come with gaskets or studs. So now I got to see if I can get these studs out of here and into there without breaking those off. That could be interesting. Okay, well thankfully I was able to get those 3 out. The studs came out with the nuts, so I can reuse those. Seeing as the new turbo didn't come with those either, for some reason. But when I tried to take these studs out, the first one I tried, I broke it off right away. But I did manage to find 4 bolts that I can use in place of the studs here. So I just have to clean up those threads and clean up the exhaust manifold. Just got to get this gasket off of here and then wire brush this to make sure it's all nice and clean. And then I can put the new turbo on. Nice. Okay, we make sure that flange is all nice and clean. And of course we put the high temp anti-seize on those bolts. So if they ever need to come out of here again, at least they'll come out. Okay. Alright, there's our gasket for the manifold mount. And there's our turbski. What we need to do, put this in there like that. Whoops. There, something like that. And get this lined up. Good enough to put a bolt in. 1 bolt in there. 2 bolts. That's the 3rd one. And now we got the hardest one. Well, that wasn't even too bad. Now I gotta tighten them though. I guess I'm just gonna tighten it with a wrench because that's the only thing that really fits in here anyway. See if I can cheat the system and get a 1/4 inch ratchet on this bolt. Oh, it's close. It's working. Okay. So that one is tight. That one's tight. That one's tight. One more. Somewhere back here where I can't see it. A little more. There. So the turbo's mounted. Now I gotta put my new gasket on here on the drain hose. Let me see where that went. There it is. New steel gasket. This thing just kind of clips. Whoops. Ooh, where are we going? Don't drop that. I need that. Where are you going? Oh, try again. Like that. So that gasket's on there. Now I need to try and get those little bolts in. And that could be a real issue here. So again, we'll just get a little bit of high temp anti-seize on there. Make sure that these screw in easy and will be able to come out again if they ever need to. That's screwed in not too bad. I'll get some anti-seize on this one. Now honestly, I feel like I'm going to drop this one a few times before I actually get it in there because of where it's located. I can't see it. I can kind of feel where it goes. Wow, it's going in. All right, awesome. So let's get this in behind here. See if I can tighten that guy up. That one's tight. Oh, this one. There. Well, I was thinking that that was going to be the hardest part of this job. So it's kind of nice that that went well. And quite often, these compressor housings are clocked incorrectly. But this one looks like it's even clocked right, so I don't even need to loosen these off and mess with any of that stuff. So that's pretty nice. Now I'm going to find my exhaust clamp and put it on here and get that throttle valve back on. Or back pressure valve. And, well, maybe before I do that, I'm going to put this bolt in the back for this other bracket because that'll be a lot easier to do with this out of the way. Just easier to get my arm in behind there. There we go. Okay. Now we'll deal with this throttling valve. So it's interesting, it has that little indexing pin hole right there. And this piece has an indexing pin on it as well. So this only fits on there one way. Now this one is the one that I had to bang up pretty bad to get it on and off of there. I wonder if I could put that this way so it's a little easier to get that. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn this way back like that. Okay, put that there. This guy lined up in his spot. Right there, you can just feel it kind of get on that pin. I'm just going to tap it on. Pretty snug fit, so I just want to tap it on here a bit. Now I can see that where I wanted to place this isn't going to work, so I have to move it. No, I don't like it. Wow, it is just not a convenient situation here. Let's try that. Wow, really? Still can't get that through there? There we go. Now we're in business. Clamp this thing down. That's easier said than done too. Alright, well now I know why that thing was situated all goofy the way it was. Because that's the way it has to be. Now I can clip this wire holders back in place. Whoops. How did this? Yeah, like that. There. Well, what do I want to do next? I guess I will have to put this pipe back on. Wow. That went easy. Starting to wonder what I forgot to put together here if it goes like that. I want to straighten that out a little bit. Can I do that? It's pretty good right now. I'm going to go a bit more. If I throw this in behind there, I should be able to pull it. There, just like that. Now I can tighten this one the rest of the way. Done. Next up, we're going to have this little piece of hose to put on there for a wastegate line. There. Slide it on the other end, like that. Okay. There, that's on there. Those guys are all together. Now, what we got left is the supply line and the inlet line. We're gonna leave the outlet, this charge line, we're gonna leave it off for now because I wanna run it for a while, warm the engine up again and see if it still spits oil out. It won't, but you just wanna do your due diligence and make sure that you have solved the problem that you think you solved. Anyway, so I think what I'm gonna do first is clean up this line, and I'm gonna put some oil in here because you always wanna pre-lube your turbo, especially when they're new, so that you don't have an air bubble go through there with it spinning when you start it up. Figured I would pop that bottom line off of there and see if there's any oil in the bottom of the cooler, and there's quite a bit. So I'll let that drain out while we're at it. Yeah, I just want to be checking for leaks now. Make sure everything is working right. I'll let it run for a bit and warm up. Okay, so this guy's been running for quite a while now, and as you can see, there's no oil coming out of the turbo. So we've got that problem fixed. So now I'm going to clean up these lines down here and get the charge air line back on. And of course I will change the oil and filter too, now that it's all nice and warm. Okay, so there we have it. We're all done. We got our new turbo on there, test ran it, checked for leaks, make sure everything was working good. Got no problems there, so that's good. All the lines are back on, and changed the oil. Got some nice fresh 5W40 Shell Rotella T6 in there, so this one will be good for another 150 hours. And that is that. Thank you guys for coming along on this one, and I will see you next time.